So for this assignment, I visited the teen space at Berkeley Public Library's Central Branch. The next few photos are sort of a 360 view of the teen space. So right here you can see sort of this pathway into, it's on the second floor, the teen space is located on the second floor, and this is a pathway into sort of like a reference area and then also a set of computers. And so it's kind of it's sort of a thoroughfare in terms of like people can sort of walk through to get to certain different areas. And it's also located by the elevators. So off to the left here, you see this is a display for Pride Month, but it looks like a lot of the books haven't been replenished. And there's also the magazine collection there. And a majority of the space, as you can kind of see through these next few photos, is really occupied by stacks and the nonfiction collection wrapping around the wall, and then the fiction collection in the middle. And the space isn't particularly large. There were a few displays around the back that had information about teen programs and events coming up. But the vast majority of the space, again, sorry, I keep going backwards, is really occupied by the collection. And as you can see, there's a teen right here towards the back who is checking out the graphic novels. And I'm a teacher librarian at the local high school nearby, and I actually ran into one of my students who was sitting back over here in the corner, which was just a clear indication to me that, just sitting on the ground, that there just isn't a lot of seating in this space. There's no real place for teens to congregate and sit together. There are these academic kind of style tables here, which mirror this larger, academic library, kind of traditional library space for adults with sort of lofted ceilings that's right through that doorway. They did have charging stations, for teens for their devices. And there's also 2 computers located over here. There's also an adult sitting in the space, which I thought was interesting as well. So kind of walking back through, there was a door here to a meeting room, I assume, but I wasn't sure if it was actually available for teens or not. And a couple bulletin boards and things with information, but they didn't seem like they were super regularly updated. And again, this is sort of the other corner is a thoroughfare to this sort of open air space that is utilized by adults and has sort of an academic kind of traditional feel. And then coming around back to that original photo so you can see that pathway through. I would say the space is relatively small. And what really stood out to me was comparing the teen space to the children's space, which is on the 4th floor and actually occupies the entire 4th floor. And that space, and sort of thinking about the 4-space model, like really had all of those elements. Like the children's space has, a learning space, there was a meeting space, a performance space, there's also a big maker space area. And when I spoke with one of the librarians at Berkeley Public, she was telling me that a lot of the teens actually end up congregating in the sort of alcove area of the children's area. Just because there's bean bags and comfortable seating, they can kind of congregate in a way that they can't within the teen space. And so she said that this children's space is also utilized by teens, especially by early teens. And I just thought that was a really stark, contrast to what's available in the teen space. In terms of like what I saw as sort of the biggest strengths of the space was, I'm a high school teen librarian. I thought the collection was really strong. I was also happy to see them advertising this sort of new collaboration that we just started around the Overdrive digital collection that Berkeley Public has. So I thought there was, and I was speaking with a student about that as well, and she was commenting on that they do have a really strong collection. But what's sort of lacking is obviously, I think the biggest thing is space to congregate, to create, to be sort of, for teens to really be together within the teen space, which is not available because it's such a small space and because the collection is sort of, taking up majority of the space. Also, just isn't a lot of available technology or very updated technology. There's 2 computers, but I didn't see any teens utilizing them when I was there. There was a teen services suggestion box, which I thought was great, but it's kind of unclear how much teens use it. When I spoke with a student of mine, she said she'd never really noticed it before. This is, just being said with the caveat that, there's big overhaul happening at the Central Branch right now. They're really rethinking a lot of the spaces, and they're going to actually be moving the teen space downstairs and have a lot of amazing ideas for what that's going to look like. And a few students that attend my high school are going to be on the teen advisory board, so that's really exciting. But that's the end of the tour. Thanks.